Hello, Pat Skeets here again, and today I'm going to do an album share. Well, I think I have like maybe 10 pages layouts here. Um, these are of a road trip, just a day trip that we took, and it's to Point Pelee, and it's in Canada, but it is, well, the most southern tip of Canada. Um, you can go to Pelee Island from there, but we've gone twice now. It's about a 2-hour drive from my house, due south of us. I live right on the southern tip of Port Lake Huron, in Canada, and then 2 hours south of that on Lake Erie is this Point Pelee. Anyway, we go in the fall or late summer because the monarch butterflies fly south then. They're all migrating, and a lot of them congregate at, this is a national park, so a lot of the monarch butterflies congregate there, and then they wait for good weather. They cling to the trees and cover the trees and wait for good weather because it's right into the lake and it's a very long flight across the lake for them to go south. It's a rest area before a big opening of water that they have to cross. So it's quite famous for the monarch butterflies in August. Anyway, that's why we go. We like to see the monarch butterflies. Anyway, so this is the first page of I did under this for this trip. It is a national park, as I said, so it's very nature, and so there's signs when you come in. It's the 42nd parallel, the border between Canada and the United States. So anyway, I thought, yeah, I might tell you there are 16 American states that are further north than this area of Canada. So just a little info. Anyway, I love these nature pages, and I found this beautiful paper with all these ferns because it's a wooded area, and there's always ferns in the woods. So I created a box on both sides in a coordinating green texture. It's a wood grain, actually. And then I did a cream one inside of that. That's just a tone-on-tone texture. And I used the green again. I punched out a leaf border. This is a Creative Memories border punch. There's oak leaves and maple leaves, and I guess they're elms. And then this is a Monstera leaf border punch. It's a tropical leaf, and I did that in black on the bottom here to just create some pop on the page. I did a few hits of black. I shadowed everything in black and matted the photos in black just to make things pop, and did this tab. Created this here. This is a Creative Memories punch too, this tab. So good punch to have. So once I placed my photos here, I lined these up at the top, lined the bottoms of these up, and then I found some beautiful images in Design Space that had like ferns and plants and mushrooms. I love mushrooms, so I did a cluster of mushrooms, another image of them here and another one there. So these two would match, so they would be in the same cartridge in Design Space, but this is a separate one. Love it. Found a mottled green paper to do on the mushrooms. I just think this is so nice and naturey that I love it. So then I used some Creative Memories embellishments and titles under the treetops because we literally were walking in the woods. when you get to the park and you park, you have to go through a building and then you walk. There's no cars allowed. You have to walk to Point Pelee, and it is literally a point in the lake. It's quite a long, it's a bit of a long walk to get there. So these are just along the way. There's the lake you can see, but we're not at the point yet. Anyway, a beautiful page and a nice little trip if you want to go there, if you're close enough. It's not far from Detroit at all. Okay, so now this is, once you've walked, there's the point. It just narrows and narrows until it goes to the point, and there's waves from both sides of the lake washing ashore here. So the point is always changing depending on the waves and the water level. It's just an interesting place to go. There's a museum there too, and camping and stuff like that. Anyway, so after you get in the park and you go through a museum, you walk along, and there's this boardwalk here, and it has stairs you can climb. It's a platform, and it's a lookout over. This is like all bog, marsh and bog, so it's kind of nice. So we were just dressed there, you know. Someone offered to take a picture of us, so we went with friends as a day trip. So I decided I love this paper, and because of the lime green shirt and this blue of this welcome sign, I picked green and blue for my color scheme here. And since I love this paper so much, I found this coordinate to it, and I used it on both sides. I made tabs, tab, all with a tab punch. And then I found some, because these are like dandelions, they look more like Queen Anne's lace. I found some flowers like that. So I did one there. I did all grass border along the bottom. And then this border has, on top of it, has Queen Anne's lace flowers and butterflies and a little cat and bird sitting. I just loved it. I thought that was so cute. I think this goes, oh my gosh, it's not even glued. Look at that. I didn't tape it properly. I'll have to do that. So I did a nice frame. It's a tab style frame for the photo. Made it quite large so that the pretty paper would show around it. And then I did a wreath that is like just fronds of, wispy leaves, because this is all marsh here. Anyway, it's outdoorsy. So put that on top of the photo. And then I have this beautiful border of leaves. I cut it here and here. I put part of it here and part here onto the top of this photo. It was kind of boring up there, just gray sky. So anyway, I love this page. It's so nature. I love the pretty colors and the pretty paper. So this was such a beautiful corner that I didn't want to have this border go over top of it. So I just added a little more of it over here. And I'm wondering if this page goes like this. Yeah, it does. I had that set out wrong. I'm sure it goes like this. Yes. I would not put a corner in the middle of a page, I don't think. So it does. It goes like this. Too funny. Anyway, I love all this. I think it's very pretty and effective, and yet it's quite simple. Just the borders are Cricut, and this the frames. So very pretty nature page. And here's a better picture of the that structure that you climb up here. There's birds' nests all in there, all over the place in there. Anyway, this is all bog, and there's all kinds of turtles and wildlife in here, birds, frogs. There's tons of it. So I found an image, amazingly, of a structure. I think this might be a lifeguard hut, the image that I found, but it was so similar to this, I was delighted. Anyway, I just used a beautiful paper, big piece in the middle for a background, and then I added this as a border at the bottom, another chunk of it over here coming in, and I used some more of it up here so I'd have the same papers on both sides. This pretty paper, I just love that. It's wispy leaves, just because this is all so much nature in there. And it is cattails. I'm sure if you went the end of the summer, it'd be all cattails. So I did find a cattail image for there, and I put one here. Did a cattail border all along here. At the bottom of this, I just glued this to the mat at the bottom of this photo. More reeds and cattails. And then I did a cluster of embellishments from Creative Memories right here. And you can never have too much sunshine. It's just a nice day. Added a little sticker from there. And then another cluster up here of the same collection of Creative Memories, and another here, Loving Life, just to pretty up my page. So because we go to watch to the monarch butterflies, you're hunting for them when you're there if you're not there at the peak, and we weren't there at the peak. So we were having a picnic lunch, and we saw this lady releasing butterflies, monarchs. So she finds them out of her garden. She plants milkweed because that's where they lay their eggs, on milkweed leaves. And she said the eggs are just the size of a pinhead on the underside of milkweed leaves. So she looks for the eggs. She puts them in cages, and she nurtures them and looks after them so they won't get wrecked. And then when they're ready to hatch, she knows exactly how many days it'll be and whatnot. She's amazing what she knows about them. And anyway, we had lunch. We invited them to have lunch with us, and then we watched her releasing the monarchs. This is them in her hand. They can't fly yet, so they have to dry out before they can fly. It was so interesting meeting her, and we've stayed in touch because they live about an hour from where we live. We've stayed in touch and met them for lunch, and gotten to know them, and now she's not a scrapbooker, but she is in my Facebook group just to have contact with us and comments on my pages a lot. So that was very nice. Anyway, I found this pretty paper with a wreath, a floral wreath on it, and it had monarch butterflies, or one anyway, right here. And this is a coordinate paper to it with monarchs on it. So it was perfect. I just cut this picture in a circle, and then I laid this butterfly frame at an angle. I tilted it over top, and I found these beautiful images of butterflies and flowers in Design Space. It's so pretty. I just did it in dark green on those two corners. So then I found a monarch butterfly, so I used that image here. And then I just used a border punch for all these butterflies here. I did use the square version. Well, this is a different frame. It's got a triple border, very delicate. You just have to adjust the pressure setting when you're going to do these fine, delicate cuts on the Cricut machine. And you have to make sure that you have a fairly strong, sticky mat. And then, so that the paper doesn't shift around. And then you adjust your settings to a softer setting. Anyway, it tends to work really well. So there's my monarch butterfly lady and her husband, and my homage to the monarch butterfly flights. So in the bog of this, there's so many turtles and frogs. So we were taking pictures of them. And so there's a frog. There's 2 frogs on the log. There's another one on the leaf. There's another one. And they're just everywhere in there if you look at the water. So I had this beautiful scenery paper in the woods. And I thought it's perfect. But you don't want to cover it up too much with pictures. So I trimmed my photos into ovals and circles to keep them smaller, to not hide the pretty paper. And then I just used a special frame from, and it's an embellishment from Creative Memories pack, and these are also from Creative Memories, and the border too, I cut it. So it's just a small frame here. I cut this, no, this is from an embellishment from Creative Memories too. So I just kept them away and let the picture look pretty. Just, and put one title up there, Life. It was Life in the Forest. It's a very simple page. No Cricut except the title, I think. And here's another page with the swamps. They weren't really swamps, they were bogs. Anyway, I had a lot of pictures to put on here. There's 3, 6. So I wanted, I cut them into ovals so I'd have more space to nest them and overlap them and whatnot. Anyway, I used Kiwi Lane borders along the bottom. I found this beautiful floral, tropical type thing. And because there were yellow flowers in this photo blooming here, I used a few pops of yellow. I found there's some yellow in this paper as well. So I used a coordinate in the green and another coordinate in the blue for the water. It's quite blue in some of these. So right in the middle, I did a frog pond. I found an image of a pond and then some frogs. I put them there. I did emboss them. They have bumpy, I guess I could lift this up and show you the embossing. I did the leaves and the frogs as well. So I hope you can see that. So they look kind of cute. They're funny looking frogs. Their feet are kind of funny, but they're cute. Anyway, so there's all kinds of frogs in these pictures. There's 3 of them there. Anyway, so I found this frog. It's climbing. And then I added leaves behind, big fronds, monstera leaves behind. Tucked another one over here. I found a lily pad with a yellow flower because of these. And then I just added a few embellishments. Blue, yellow, and green enamel dots clustered there, there, and there. Added some, more embellishments here and there, because they were cattails. So just put a little border. I cut the border in half, used half here and half there. That's it, a swampy page. And then this one is that boardwalk. They have where that tall tower is that you climb up. It overlooks this boardwalk. It's right here. So you can walk out here and here and here. And I think it's a mile walk. It goes all back here and around. It's quite a long walk. And this river sort of, people can kayak it. You can do a boat tour on it. That sort of thing. So it was interesting. And we did go for a walk. We didn't walk the whole thing, but we went out for a walk on there. So that's my girlfriend out there waving. We're taking pictures from the tower. Anyway, I found this lovely, beautiful paper. Oh, I love this paper. And then this tropical coordinates it with it. And this one is another coordinate, a smaller print. So I have a large print, a medium print, and a small print. It works if you don't repeat, if you don't do 2 large prints or 2 medium prints. It all works. Now I found a beautiful, there were lily pads in here, and so I found this lovely lily pad image from Art Nouveau, one of my favorite cartridges, and I did another lily pad image here. Yeah, that's a pretty one with my pink flowers. It just popped with pink. Because for the main reason is the color of my top is like this paper or this paper. So that's why I chose this paper. It was something to pull from the photos so that it would all tie together. Then I just did some embellishments from Creative Memories, the pink bloom collection. And this is a punch, these leaves. I have a punch for that. There's more here, another cluster here. I just added the leaves all over the place in light and dark green. So, isn't that gorgeous? That cartridge is beautiful. Check it out. So this is walking out to the point at Point Pelee. There it is. It comes to a real point out there. It's so nice. It's driftwood. It's just very raw nature in its natural state. Beautiful. So I quite like this page for a beach page. I absolutely love it, actually. So I had this paper. It has some orange. It's mostly the shades of blue that are in the photos, and it has orange accent. So I went with. I just love the paper. It worked. So I popped with orange, with a peachy kind of shade. So I created a border here, just using Creative Memories. I think they might be all from the same collection. This has a heron and splashing water and some cattails, and there's a sunset on it. Like a beautiful border here by the lake. This one has the brown one. I put layered 3 different there. The blue, the rust-colored border with the sign and the sun, and then the heron one on top. So by layering the 3 borders, it created a scene. I love it. Then I added the log images from Cricut. I cut those, and I made the frames from Cricut. That's all the Cricut on this page. So this is just, I embellished also with, I put a sailboat in the water, because that is the lake. It's Lake Erie. And then I had these embellishments, so I made a cluster here, and then I used this frame, or I think it's for journaling, and I covered, this was on it, but I added this, and I created a little scene with fish and starfish and turtles, because there's so many turtles there. And then I created another pretty border with this, and this is from these are Creative Memories as well. It's probably all the same collection. I used like 5 of them on this page. And then I added a couple birds in the embellishments from up in the sky there. So I just absolutely love this page. Love this heron. Looks like he's in the picture. I really enjoyed that. So that was our trip to Point Pelee. And then another time we did a little day trip to, I think it's Walpole Island. Okay, so to get there, we drive along the water, the St. Clair River from Lake Huron. And if we just drive for 20 minutes or so, there's a ferry. And you can drive onto the ferry and take it across to the American side. And this is right there where you land at the American side. There's this park, Algonac City Park. And there's a memorial here to the first responders there. So this is the memorial and with flags, and it's a pretty park setting. And we just took some pictures there before we drove back. Anyway, it's just a little day trip, fun. And so I use a travel paper with cameras. This has cameras, a sightseeing trip, so I did an image of a camera and some film strip behind it. And then I have a border or a punch that is cameras from Creative Memories. So I just created a border with that punch and some film strip images. So that was kind of fun. This camera paper is, I just did blocks of papers. The camera paper blocks and block, and then 2 different backgrounds here. So it's just a fun page. You can find the design space links for all these pages in Everyday Life Scrapbook number 50 on my website. There's thousands of pages with design space links there. Travel, wedding, baby, everyday life, Halloween, Christmas. And there's so many albums there that they aren't all on the landing page. You have to use along the top of the landing page, there's categories. There's everyday life, wedding. You just click on everyday life, and then all the everyday life albums will show up, even the ones that have fallen off the bottom. There's like 8 more that aren't on there anymore. So, but you will see them all if you use the category bar in any of the categories. Okay, so this is another little day trip that we did in the summer. We had friends visiting from out west. So we took them to a local, I guess this was the fair or something in Petrolia, an art in the park thing or something, but it's cooler weather. We're wearing coats. Anyway, we're on the water there, Lake Huron, and here's just shopping at the fair. That's me and our friends. So with this page, I just create, this is printed on there. So this paper is printed all this with the 2 borders and a map there. So it's a little day trip thing, travel. I did add the arrows and this piece of paper there, travel thing. So I just added some tags and a luggage cart because it was a little trip, but it's actually only a day trip. Petrolia is a town near us. It's only a half an hour from my house. So, and this was quite a simple page. I just added a frame. This is an embellishment from Creative Memories, and so are these on the tickets there. So I hope you enjoyed looking at these, and happy scrapping.